What's up guys, Firewolf here, showing you guys the LG 45GX950A, also known as the GX9, which finally features the world's first 5K 2K resolution. In this video, I'll be doing an unboxing, sharing my first impressions, and also some fire 5K 2K gameplay towards the end. I'll be dropping a review video soon, so follow to keep up to date with my latest drops. Alright, now let's unbox this massive beast here. Alright, first up is going to be the base. Definitely a fan of this style of face here because it doesn't take a lot of space and it comes in this really interesting pentagon shape. Alright, here's the bottom cover to cover up those ports. Alright, here's the stand. We have that nice subtle UltraGear with some purple accents here to pass through and cable manage your cables. We see right over there that NVIDIA G-Sync sticker here. And in this box here, we have all of our accessories. Alright, first cable they're going to give us is going to be an HDMI 2.1 cable. Next up is going to be a USB-C to C cable, which I love to see. However, I have to double check to see what we can do with that USB-C interface here. Since it no longer uses Type B, definitely still like the direction of going the USB-C route. Next up, they're giving us a DisplayPort cable. Now this should be a 2.1 cable, so I'll be using this to connect to my PC. We're gonna have a US power cord, which is gonna connect to this separate power brick here. Definitely large and heavy, but it does reduce the weight of the actual monitor itself since the power supply is separate. All right, now last couple of things here. We're gonna have our quick start guide and a couple of warranty informations, and that's pretty much it for the accessories. All right, finally, let's go ahead and reveal that 45-inch OLED display. I'm definitely having flashbacks of the original one that came out because that one was pretty exciting as well. Let's go ahead and take all this plastic piece out because I want to definitely feel that curve. There you go guys, we have that signature aggressive 800R curvature to really immerse you when it comes to gaming or whatever you want to do. So we can see that 45-inch OLED display. Now, one thing to note is that I don't see any type of screen protector on this display, which I'm pretty disappointed. And I don't know if you can tell, but there is some weird smudging, it appears. I'm not going to really touch that yet. So to set this up, I want to make sure we place it back. And this being inside the box, we can go ahead and place the actual stand. But for now, let me just go ahead and remove this plastic piece for that RGB on the back. All right, so let's take a look at the inputs here, located right on the bottom. Starting from the left, we're gonna have two HDMI 2.1 ports, followed by that DisplayPort 2.1. And on the other side, we have a USB-C port, and you'll see like a little battery indicator there. And I do know that this USB-C will connect to these dual USB-A 3.0 ports. And I'm really interested to see if this is going to connect via DisplayPort. And then finally, we have the input cable here. And then right over here is going to be our joystick here with the power button. And right underneath is a 3.5mm headphone jack. And this is the button for the actual dual mode here. So let's go ahead and set this up. Now there are some VESA mount hole screws here, 100 by 100. So if you're going to use this on a monitor arm, then you go ahead and unscrew it and put your VESA plate there. But if you're going to use a stand, just grab it real quick, place it in an angle, shut it down. Then you grab the bottom stand, position it over, and then we'll have two wingtip screws that you can easily screw in with just your hand, no tools involved. I'm going to make sure that's nice and tight, and now we can lift it up. So I'm definitely going to be using the GX9 on my main setup over here, connected to the 5090 and the 9950X3D gaming PC. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to be. Well, I'm going to grab this monitor here. All right, so right around here, it's heavy, but it's manageable. If I were to guesstimate the weight, I want to say it's like 30 pounds. Maybe less than that. I could be overestimated, to be honest. All right, guys, I'm going to quickly show you guys the setup here on the back. We are completely stacked. We got HDMI 2.1 connected. We have the original DisplayPort 2.1 from the LG accessory box. I have a USB-C already connected to my PC, so I'd rather just use that instead since it's long enough. Then we have an additional USB-A here for the coiled keyboard that I have. And I also put in a wireless mouse dongle. And finally, we have the power input cable. And of course, the DisplayPort cable is going to be gaming PC here with the 5090 and 9950X3D to see if it can handle that 5K 2K display. And I will say that the DisplayPort 2.1 cable was pretty lengthy. So for those of you guys that have PCs that might be sitting far away from the monitor, you should have enough coverage. And I gotta say, this thing is definitely massive. So I'm gonna go ahead and push it back and set it up. Alright guys, and there we have it. The LG 45-inch GX9 fully set up, connected to my gaming PC right in the corner over there. Just ignore that black one real quick there, that's not connected yet. But I gotta say though, first impression is that I absolutely love the size of this display. I've been using a lot of 32-inch 4K OLED monitors and also 27 inches. So finally going back to an ultra wide just feels awesome, because I've always preferred that 21:9 aspect ratio, especially when it comes to editing and multitasking. It feels good to be back. All right, starting with the most obvious here, we have some really good height adjustments here. We also have some nice swivel over here, and I'm trying to be very gentle and careful here because this base is sitting on top of my oversized mouse pad, but definitely has some nice swivel range, and of course we have some really good tilt angle as well. For those of you guys that are not going to be using a monitor arm, it's great to have a lot of flexibility. And also we have this empty space here, which gives you flexibility, of course, to add things on top of there so it doesn't look too cluttered. So as you can tell, this features an awesome matte display, which I personally prefer over the glossy OLEDs. As you can see right over here, this is the light coming from the opposite side, and you can't barely make out what it is. It just looks like a blob. And when you're looking at it directly in front of it, you do not notice it at all. And I'm looking at the camera feed here, and I can see from what you guys are looking at, you guys can see that little blob there. But from me looking at it straight on, I actually don't see that at all. And that's one of the benefits of matte displays, is that there are no distractions. Had this been super glossy, then I would have definitely seen the reflection of that light. So for those of you guys that have a lot of lighting fixtures around, maybe you have like RGB lights going around your whole room, then a matte coating definitely helps. Let's go ahead and go to the advanced display here. So we can see right from the start that it automatically put the highest refresh rate of 165.06 hertz, which is awesome. And then of course you have a drop down of all of the different hertz. Now another great thing here is that you'll see where it says variable refresh rate, it says supported 49 hertz through 165. And the great thing about this being a G-Sync compatible monitor is that it automatically detected my 5090, and without doing anything, it already has G-Sync enabled. And to really check to see here, we're gonna hit show more options here and go to NVIDIA control panel here. All right, so now we're at the NVIDIA control panel. If I go down to set up G-Sync, you can see right over here, it's automatically enabled. Now, sure, if it didn't have G-Sync compatibility, then yeah, I would have to go and manually set that up, which would work with whatever FreeSync technology that's in the monitor. So I really appreciate that G-Sync. And just to demonstrate the dual mode here real quick, and let's go back to display settings. We're at the 165 hertz, 5120 by 2160, and with just a simple click of a button, it automatically switches to that dual mode relatively quick. So took probably less than 10 seconds, and we're automatically at 2560 by 1080 at 330.12 hertz. For those that want to experience even higher refresh rates, also a higher FPS count if their GPU can't handle the 5K 2K, for example, I think this is still a great option to have, a native option for 1080p at 330 hertz. And then switching back and forth is very simple. Obviously you definitely want to do this before you even hop into a game, because doing this in mid-game is most likely going to cause some issues. My first impressions on this GX9 is straight up fire. A huge step up over the LG 45GR95QE that I unboxed 2 years ago. The higher 125 pixel density is immediately noticeable, and just around 12 pixels per inch lower than a 4K 32-inch monitor. I'll be daily driving this monitor to see if it's worth its insane price, so stay tuned for a future review video. For now, I'll roll some fire 5K 2K gameplay clips with sound coming straight off the GX9's internal speakers, so enjoy.
That's a kill. Eyes on enemy. Security B. UAV established overhead. UAV available for tasking. UAV prep for launch. UAV inbound. Subject front. Enemy Taking Bravo underway. They're taking C. Securing Alpha.
Eyes on enemy. That's fine.
We're losing Charlie. Hostiles reclaim the lead.
Still here? Well, thank you so much for sticking through to the end. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and any questions you guys have on the LG GX9, drop them down below. I'll also have affiliate links down below if you're interested in the mini tech that you've seen in this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Firewolf out.